An American tourist in France rented a car. The speedometer shows kilometers, she said. A French clerk seemed confused. Yes, that's correct. The American looked annoyed. I need miles. The clerk noted, we use kilometers. The American insisted, everyone uses miles. The clerk smiled. Only America does. The American looked genuinely shocked by this. The American pressed her complaint. But how will I know speed? The clerk explained, read kilometers. The American argued, I don't know kilometers. The clerk suggested, learn conversion. The American insisted, why not just use miles? The clerk replied, because we're French. The American looked frustrated. That's inconvenient. The clerk smiled. For you, maybe? I watched an American in Germany stare at road signs. These numbers are wrong, he said. A German local seemed puzzled. They're correct. The American insisted, says 50 kilometers. The local confirmed. Yes. The American argued, that's too slow. The local noted, it's about 30 miles. The American looked confused. Why not say that? The local replied, we use metric. The American continued his confusion. Everyone should use miles. The local disagreed. World uses kilometers. The American insisted miles are standard. The local corrected, kilometers are standard. The American argued, in America miles are. The local smiled. Only in America. The American seemed shocked. Really? The local nodded. Yes, really. You're the exception today. An American student in Spain asked for directions. How many miles away? She asked. A Spanish local seemed confused. We use kilometers. The American looked annoyed. Can you convert? The local said, about 10 kilometers. The American insisted, in miles though. The local calculated. 6 miles maybe. The American asked, why not just say 6? The local replied, because it's 10. The American looked baffled entirely. The student pressed for understanding. Miles are easier. The local disagreed. Kilometers are easier. The American argued how? The local explained base 10 system. The American insisted miles make sense. The local smiled. To Americans only. The American said we're important. The local noted not that important. The American looked offended by that statement. I overheard an American in Italy complain about distance markers. Why kilometers? He asked. An Italian guide seemed amused. That's what we use. The American insisted miles are better. The guide disagreed. Kilometers are metric. The American argued, so what? The guide explained, logical system. The American said miles are logical. The guide smiled. To you perhaps. The American looked frustrated by the simple response today. The guide tried explaining patiently. Metric is worldwide. The American insisted miles are worldwide. The guide corrected, only 3 countries. The American looked shocked. 3? The guide confirmed. America, Liberia, Myanmar. The American seemed stunned. That's it. The guide nodded. Everyone else metric. The American couldn't believe it. An American family in Britain drove rental car. Speed limit says 70, the father said. A British passenger noted, kilometers per hour. The mother looked confused. Not miles? The passenger confirmed. No, kilometers. The father argued Britain uses miles. The passenger smiled. Actually, we do. The mother looked relieved. See, miles are standard everywhere. The passenger corrected them gently. Britain is exception. The father seemed pleased. Like America. The passenger noted, we're changing to metric. The mother looked shocked. Why? The passenger explained, join rest of world. The father argued miles work fine. The passenger agreed. But kilometers are global. The family looked less certain than before now. I watched an American in Japan struggle with GPS. This makes no sense, she said. A Japanese guide looked concerned. What's wrong? The American complained, says kilometers. The guide seemed confused. That's correct. The American insisted, I need miles. The guide noted, we use kilometers. The American argued, can you change it? The guide smiled. You can learn kilometers instead. The American pressed her frustration. I don't know kilometers. The guide suggested, multiply by 0.6. The American looked overwhelmed. That's too hard. The guide noted, or learn metric. The American insisted, why should I? The guide replied, you're in Japan. The American argued Japan should accommodate. The guide smiled. Japan uses metric system. An American tourist in Australia rented car. Speedometer is broken, he said. An Australian clerk seemed puzzled. It works fine. The American insisted, shows wrong numbers. The clerk looked. Those are kilometers. The American argued, I need miles. The clerk noted, convert yourself. The American looked annoyed. That's your job. The clerk disagreed. Not really though. The American looked frustrated. The clerk tried helping anyway. Multiply by 0.6. The American complained, while driving? The clerk smiled. Or learn kilometers. The American insisted, miles are easier. The clerk disagreed. Kilometers are easier. The American argued, how? The clerk explained, metric system. The American said, I don't know metric. The clerk replied, maybe learn it. I overheard an American in Netherlands argue about bike distances. Science says 20 kilometers, she said. A Dutch local confirmed. Yes. The American asked, how many miles? The local calculated. 12 miles maybe. The American insisted, why not write 12? The local explained, we use kilometers. The American argued, that's confusing. The local disagreed. Only for Americans. The American looked offended by that statement today entirely. The American pressed her complaint. Everyone should use miles. The local smiled. Everyone uses kilometers. The American insisted, that's wrong. The local noted, you're outnumbered. The American argued, by who? The local said, literally everyone else. The American looked shocked. That can't be true. The local showed statistics. The American still seemed skeptical now. An American student in Sweden asked directions. How many miles to Stockholm? She asked. A Swedish local seemed confused. We use kilometers. The American looked annoyed. Just convert it. The local said, 100 kilometers. The American insisted, in miles. The local calculated. 60 miles. The American asked, why say 100? The local replied, because it's 100. The American looked baffled. The student argued her point. Miles make more sense. The local disagreed. Kilometers are decimal. The American insisted, miles are traditional. The local smiled. Not our tradition. The American argued, universal tradition. The local corrected, only American tradition. The American said, America leads world. The local replied, not in measurements. The American looked offended. I watched an American in Norway complain about road signs. All these numbers are huge, he said. A Norwegian local seemed amused. They're kilometers. The American insisted, should be miles. The local disagreed. Norway uses metric. The American argued, why? The local explained, because it's logical. The American said, miles are logical. The local smiled. To Americans only perhaps today. The local tried explaining metric. It's base 10 system. The American looked confused. So? The local continued, easy conversions. The American insisted, miles convert fine. The local asked, to what? The American paused. To feet. The local noted, how many? The American said, 5,000 something. The local smiled. See, not logical. The American looked less certain than before now. An American family in Denmark drove through countryside. These distances are wrong, the father said. A Danish passenger seemed confused. They're kilometers. The mother insisted, should be miles. The passenger noted we use metric. The father argued, that's outdated. The passenger disagreed. Actually quite modern. The mother asked, when did this start? The passenger said, 1800. The family looked shocked by that information entirely today. The father pressed for understanding. Why use kilometers? The passenger explained, metric system. The mother argued imperial is better. The passenger smiled. Only 3 countries think so. The father insisted, America is important. The passenger agreed. But not standard. The mother looked frustrated. You should use miles. The passenger replied, why should we really? I overheard an American in Finland argue about ski distances. Trail says 15 kilometers, she said. A Finnish guide confirmed. Yes. The American asked, in miles? The guide calculated. 9 miles. The American insisted, just say 9. The guide explained, it's 15. The American argued, that's confusing. The guide disagreed. Only for you. The American looked offended by simple truth. The guide tried explaining Finnish logic. Metric makes sense. The American disagreed. Imperial makes sense. The guide asked, how many yards in mile? The American paused. 1700? The guide corrected, 1760. The American argued close enough. The guide smiled. Kilometers easier. 1,000 meters exactly. The American had no response to that point. An American tourist in Switzerland asked hotel clerk, how far to Zurich? The clerk said, 30 kilometers. The American looked annoyed. In miles? The clerk calculated. 18 miles. The American insisted, just say 18. The clerk explained, we say 30. The American argued, that's inefficient. The clerk disagreed. That's metric. The American said, miles are better. The clerk smiled. That's your opinion. The American looked frustrated. The clerk offered perspective. World uses kilometers. The American insisted, world should use miles. The clerk asked, why? The American said, they're superior. The clerk disagreed. Just familiar. The American argued, same thing. The clerk smiled. Not same. The American insisted, America leads. The clerk noted, not in this. The American looked offended entirely. I watched an American in Austria complain about hiking trails. Sign says 8 kilometers, he said. An Austrian guide confirmed. Yes. The American asked, what's that? The guide calculated. 5 miles. The American insisted, why not say 5? The guide explained, because it's 8. The American argued, that's backwards. The guide disagreed. That's metric. The American looked confused by logic. The guide explained Austrian perspective. Metric is worldwide. The American insisted, not in America. The guide agreed. Only place. The American argued, and Britain. The guide corrected, Britain is changing. The American looked shocked. Really? The guide confirmed. Yes, slowly. The American asked, why? The guide said, join world. The American replied, world should join America. The guide smiled. Never happened. The American looked defeated today. An American student in Poland asked locals, how far to Krakow? A Polish local said, 50 kilometers. The American looked confused. In real distance? The local seemed puzzled. That is real. The American insisted, in miles. The local calculated. 30 miles. The American asked, why say 50? The local replied, because it's 50. The American looked baffled by simple answer. The student pressed her argument. Miles are universal. The local disagreed. Kilometers are universal. The American insisted, America uses miles. The local noted, only America. The American argued, that makes us right. The local smiled. That makes you alone. The American said, we're exceptional. The local replied, exceptionally stubborn. The American looked offended clearly. I overheard an American in Czech Republic complain about GPS. This app is broken, he said. A Czech local checked. It's fine. The American insisted, shows kilometers. The local confirmed. That's correct. The American argued, should show miles. The local noted, we use kilometers. The American demanded, change it. The local smiled. You change it. Settings menu. The American looked embarrassed by that simple solution today. The local offered help anyway. I'll show you settings. The American said, just make miles default. The local disagreed. Kilometers are default. The American insisted, that's wrong. The local smiled. For 95% of world? The American paused. That many? The local confirmed. Yes. The American looked genuinely shocked. I didn't know. The local replied, now you know clearly. An American family in Hungary drove to Budapest. Why such big numbers? The mother asked. A Hungarian guide explained, kilometers. The father insisted, should be miles. The guide disagreed. Hungary uses metric. The mother argued, that's outdated. The guide smiled. America's system is outdated. The father looked offended. Imperial is traditional. The guide noted, metric is scientific. The family looked confused by that statement entirely today. The guide explained metric advantages. Based on water. The father seemed confused. What? The guide continued, 1 liter water, 1 kilogram. The mother said, so what? The guide explained, everything connects logically. The father insisted, imperial connects. The guide asked, how? The father paused. Just does. The guide smiled. Exactly. It doesn't at all. I watched an American in Romania argue about train distances. Schedule says 200 kilometers, she said. A Romanian conductor confirmed. Yes. The American asked, in miles? The conductor calculated. 125. The American insisted, just say that. The conductor explained, we say kilometers. The American argued, that's confusing. The conductor disagreed. Only for you. The American looked frustrated. The conductor offered perspective. Entire Europe uses kilometers. The American insisted Europe should modernize. The conductor smiled. We are modern. The American argued, then use miles. The conductor noted miles are imperial. The American said, so? The conductor replied, we prefer metric. The American asked, why? The conductor said, because it's better. The American looked offended by that simple claim. An American tourist in Bulgaria asked directions. How many miles to Sofia? A Bulgarian local seemed confused. We use kilometers. The American looked annoyed. Just convert. The local said, 100 kilometers. The American insisted, miles. The local calculated. 60 miles. The American asked, why say 100? The local replied, because that's the distance. The American looked baffled by that logic. The local tried explaining. We measure in kilometers. The American argued, should measure miles. The local asked, why? The American said, more accurate. The local disagreed. Same accuracy. The American insisted, miles are better. The local smiled. That's just opinion. The American argued, it's fact. The local replied, no, it's American opinion only today. I overheard an American in Croatia complain about rental car. Odometer shows kilometers, he said. A Croatian clerk confirmed. Yes. The American insisted, I need miles. The clerk noted, calculate yourself. The American argued, that's inconvenient. The clerk agreed. For you. The American demanded, change the system. The clerk smiled. For one person? The American insisted, yes. The clerk replied, no. The American looked genuinely shocked. The clerk explained Croatian perspective. Everyone here uses kilometers. The American insisted, I don't. The clerk noted, your visitor. The American argued, customer is right. The clerk disagreed. Customer is customer. The American said, I'm American. The clerk replied, you're in Croatia? The American looked frustrated. You should accommodate. The clerk smiled. We do. We let you drive here today. An American student in Slovenia asked Professor, why teach in kilometers? The professor seemed puzzled. We use metric. The student insisted, should teach miles. The professor disagreed. This is Slovenia. The student argued, international students need miles. The professor smiled. International means metric. The student looked confused. Really? The professor confirmed. Yes. The student asked, since when? The professor replied, since always. Except America, of course. The professor offered education. Metric is international standard. The student insisted, miles are standard. The professor corrected, only imperial standard. The student argued, same thing. The professor disagreed. Very different. The student asked, how? The professor explained, imperial is outdated. The student looked offended. America uses it. The professor smiled. That's the point exactly. I watched an American in Estonia finally accept reality. So kilometers are standard? She asked. An Estonian guide confirmed. Worldwide standard. The American seemed thoughtful. I didn't know. The guide noted, most Americans don't. The American admitted, we assume everyone's like us. The guide agreed. Common assumption. The American said, I feel ignorant. The guide replied, now you're learning. That's good progress forward from here today. The guide explained kindly. Travel teaches this. The American agreed. It does. The guide continued, world is different. The American nodded. I see that. The guide smiled. Good. The American asked, is metric hard? The guide said, not really. The American looked hopeful. Can you teach me? The guide nodded. Yes. The American smiled. Thank you. The guide replied, you're welcome. Good attitude changes everything completely. An American family in Latvia discussed their learning. We were wrong, the father admitted. A Latvian host seemed pleased. About what? The mother explained, miles aren't universal. The host agreed. Only American. The father said, we didn't know. The host noted, many don't. The mother admitted, we assumed. The host smiled. Assumptions limit learning. The family nodded. We understand now. The host offered encouragement. Learning metric helps. The father agreed. Makes travel easier. The mother asked, is it hard? The host said, not really. The father looked hopeful. We'll try. The host smiled. Good. The mother said, thank you, patience. The host replied, travel requires patience. The father agreed. For everyone. The host nodded. Exactly right. That's the key lesson. I overheard an American in Lithuania explain to friend. Miles aren't global, he said. The friend seemed shocked. Really? The American confirmed. Only 3 countries. The friend looked stunned. Which ones? The American listed, America, Liberia, Myanmar. The friend asked, that's it? The American nodded. Everyone else metric. The friend said, I never knew. The American replied, either did I. The friend asked more questions. So we're the exception? The American confirmed. Yes. The friend looked thoughtful. That's weird. The American agreed. Kind of. The friend asked, why don't we change? The American said, tradition maybe? The friend noted, stubborn tradition. The American smiled. Very American. The friend laughed. That's true. The American nodded. But we can learn. The friend agreed. We should learn better today. An American tourist in Tallinn reflected on journey. I learned something important, she said. An Estonian local seemed curious. What's that? The American explained, world doesn't revolve around America. The local agreed. Important lesson. The American continued, we're just one country. The local smiled. 3% of world. The American looked humbled. That small? The local confirmed. Yes. The American said, I'll remember that. The local replied, good. That's wisdom through travel. The local offered final thoughts. Measurements show this truth. The American agreed. Miles are just ours. The local noted, and you keep them. The American smiled. We're stubborn. The local laughed. Very. The American said, but I'll learn kilometers. The local seemed pleased. That's progress. The American thanked him. For teaching me. The local replied, thank you for listening. The American nodded. Travel teaches humility always.